one question for everyone, because last time when we had a class, I categorically asked you that which class method you prefer, and I think that you guys agreed on online. But I still receive emails that whether the class is online or in class. So can you guys actually guide me? What should I do? Should I come on in class, or you need to have an online class? Choice is
My,
yours.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but my preference is online.
Okay. If you kindly raise your hand, who wants to have an online class, that will be great. Anyone else who wants to raise the hand?
No, thanks.
So
I raise
we
all
have,
hand.
yeah, so raise the hand. There's an icon for that. Okay. Okay, guys. Now we have two different streams, right? One stream raised the hand and other stream. So we have almost 12 people. Now, the people who are engaged with software development, are you okay with the online class, or you want to have a on-site class? Because Vikas Verma, John Shum, Judy Gibson, how do you want to go? It's okay. You just give me your, it's a democratic society. That's okay.
Are we having more theoretical part as well, or practical part as well, or it will be more theoretical?
The ICT management is not you. It's a level 7 course, right? So
Yep.
in level 7 course, you are given a free hand to develop your own research. Now, this is not a software development or data analytics class, but it's a class that relates to only management of ICT, which relates to IT governance, how you're going to handle the IT within the company. So it's at the higher level where you look the IT from the manager perspective, not from a lower end. So management of ICT is more into management practices, how you're going to handle the IT, how you're going to make the policy, how you're going to control the IT within your environment. So this is how it actually works. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Jody Gibson, that's okay. I understand. So what we do is um, anybody in this class have a class before this class on campus, or you have a class after this class on campus? Anyone?
I have a class before this.
Okay, it's on campus.
Yeah, me.
Okay, that is one of the reasons. Okay.
I only had one class on campus, but that has been moved to online as well.
Okay. Check. Nice. Class before this, 30 minutes before this class. Me too. So there are people who are having a class there. Okay. You can unraise your hand. So you give me a decision. What should I do? I can come on site, but the majority are mostly happy with online, but I can come on site. There's no problem for me. So you guys all together decide what to do, and I need a resolution from you guys. I'm not going to make the decision.
I guess the bigger question is there any benefit from being on site? Because a lot of the stuff we're doing is we're looking at resources and doing our own stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, that's correct.
And then when you are teaching, the materials available via screen sharing anyway, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, there are two options. Now, when I teach in
opinion.
class, yeah, go ahead. Who is this?
In my opinion, like when it comes to learning, I absolutely hate learning online. And like in person, it's like, you know, you get to actually interact with all the other students properly. And afterwards, everyone's around in a group. You know, it's really great for communication. Like I'm sure there are people who are good with online, but I don't have a class before. And I like coming in.
Great. Okay. Anyone else?
I want to say something. Well, I'm here already because I've got a class before campus. I mean, before this class. And I don't really want to either sit here on a Teams meeting or drive 40 minutes home and miss probably half of the class. Well, the first bit of class because I drive through dead zones where I don't get mobile data. So even if I listen to it on the way home, I still miss bits and pieces.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Actually, also, when I arrived today, I got on the train at about 12 because I live quite far away. I didn't get your Teams meeting invite in time. When we actually arrived here, the classroom was the class, so we couldn't
Okay.
even sit down in there to do the Teams meeting. So we've had to like find some other room on campus. That's why we joined a little late. And you know, it's just being on campus and then trying to find a silent place that you can actually join the Teams meeting is quite, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, guys, I think that we have two streams, and what I'm going to do is next week I'll be on campus, and I give you a option that you can join me via Teams. I will have my Teams open. Will that be okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, that gives the best of both, isn't it?
Yes. And you can record the session and whatever you want. That will be great so that those who want to have a direct interaction, I can have a direct interaction with them. Those who wants to go through the Teams. Reason for using Teams is this one thing I want to tell you because 99% of the companies in New Zealand who are technology companies, they generally are working from home. So there will be only 2 days they might be coming to the offices. They're not coming 5 days a week. So their collaboration is through Teams and they are using Teams very well. And I've seen Ayoko using Teams very well. She's often messaging me on
Thank you.
Sundays.
Thank you.
Now, these Sundays, nobody works, but I still see her message coming to me, but that's okay. So you need to understand um, the dynamics of today's world because of the COVID, which was a pandemic. The companies shifted towards the this idea of having remote work, and there has been a lot of remote work. I know Datacom has, I think so, one day they have to come on site, not just all the people, because they want to make sure that if there's COVID, still there's COVID, not everybody gets sick. 6. So they have alternative days coming to. Similarly, we have big companies like telcos. They have either Monday or Friday to come on site. So there are different companies. So I try to make things more realistic to you. But what I can do is next week I'll come on site. Those who wants to have an on-site class, they are most welcome to join me in 207. I will be there, and from there we can I can give my lecture using the Teams so that um, you can also the people who have joining me on Teams can easily see that. One of the benefits for Teams is that when you are giving a lecture, you can record that and you can also listen on a later stage. What is not in the class is that I give the lecture there and then you are not able to record that. The other thing is that you are most close to the ICT, most digital transformation, which is going across the world right now. So, like for example, in software development or in even data analytics, the people are using remote work way of actually handling these. But that's okay. So next week I will be in the class. Those who wants to join me in 207, they're most welcome, and I'll also use Teams together so that I can actually work around two different worlds. Now this class has very less lectures because it is not a class. It is based on your module. So in your modules, you can go through those modules and you have to learn from those modules. Today, I'm going to give a lecture on small lecture. They are different transformation lectures. Now, this lecture is based on IT governance. I will not go into the in-depth IT governance. First, I'll make a base background for you. Then I'll come to you, Adam, and then I'll go into detail for IT governance. Okay. Now, IT governance is the whole standard that we work on, that is 38500. So I will go through in the next lecture, which is more uh, uh, comprehensive. But today I'm going to talk about different digital um, environment, how the world's thinking about the digital environment these days. Yes, Adam. Yes, go ahead.
Hi. The resources that you went over in the previous lecture, on the recording, you access, the previous exemplars and like the assignment sort of instructions.
Yeah.
You access those via like the assignments page, and then you clicked on an assignment, and then you could see them all up there. That isn't actually available to any of the students because the assignments are locked until they're to be released at like April 9th.
Yeah,
Mhm.
8th of
So-
April. Yeah.
You
I'll
can't
open
access
it.
any of those.
I'll open it for you. Everything will be open, okay?
Thank you.
But the when you want to, okay, I'll open that for you. No problem. Um, Manvu, do you want to say something? Let me check. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's. I'll open things for you. Okay. Let's start with simple things. Can you see the slides? These. Wait a minute.
Yeah, on online library. Now it's on the Canvas page.
Okay. Let me check. Okay, guys. Now I'm going to reason for giving you a little bit brief on this is I work with ISO standards for Australia and New Zealand, and I generally work with IT governance committee. And management of ICT is more into technology. And things which I'm going to teach you is you might not have heard it before because it's at the managerial level, not at the lower level. So level 7 means that you must be able to comprehend, and it might help you in assessing your systems or making your assignments easily. Okay. Now it will be small lecture. So first, I'm going to give you a background. This is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small. I've uploaded this on Teams files. You can download and you can read it yourself. Now, this is the Governance Institute of Australia where we actually follow. And main aim of this is to make sure that your IT is governed. Anybody can tell me what does actually means that your IT should be governed? What is the reason for that? Anyone who can give me a oh, anyone?
Just when you say governance, it means there should be some principle or standards in place.
For what?
I think it's more about verifying your IDs, like you are a real person behind any
Okay.
organization or
Okay. Now you need to all of you start thinking like managers, okay? Just an example. I'll tell you how it works. Now in 1990s there was a big scam in the United States. It's called a WorldCom scam, very well known. Wall Street, everywhere, there was a big scam, and the money was poured out of the public companies, and there was no evidence where this money went. Because of that scam, American government came up with Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which is very famous for it. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act, Section 404, rules the IT that your internal controls should be good enough to control the environment. Means that if a director is doing anything, he should be liable for that because that's what the company talks about. Okay. Now, in that scams, in Ron WorldCom scam, what happened was the directors they just pulled out the money and they spent it somewhere else, and they scam the people because in public companies the public uh, buys the shares. Because of this, they want to control the environment. They came up with the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, and also the IT governance actually germinated. Now, it is a common saying that if you put everything in IT, there is very less chances of corruption, and there are very good chances of governance because you control your IT. For example, we have software developers say, and they are developing an application which relates to financial um, application like Zero, or you're handling things which is finance of the companies. And you have very strong controls that if somebody takes the money out, you can trace it back. Or if somebody has poured in the money, you should be able to trace it back. Okay. Now these are the controls that are available in IT. And you cannot do it if you're doing everything on manual basis, right? So similarly, the IT governance also deals with the in a company how you are actually using the IT and how IT is actually controlling you also. Because your bosses, your managers, they if somebody goes to them in New Zealand, it doesn't happen, but in the United States, if employee lie to the boss or to the manager, he may be able to get that information from their IT because they are all accountable and they have a monitoring system. They actually do it. So that is why uh, there was a concern of IT governance within the organizations because they don't want to go into a path which actually gives them loss in the company because of the weak internal controls. Now, remember one thing that by internal controls, I mean IT controls, not the financial controls. Okay. For example, you come in MIT, you log into your services, and from those services, these services identify that you logged in using multi-factor authentication. Now, if you are unable to log in, or if you are able to bypass that login, then MIT will not be able to trace you back who the guy was. Okay. Similarly, if you have a ransomware attack and they encrypt your file, so you are not able to actually restrict that attack. So it means that your IT governance is not in a good position. Now, IT governance comes from the minds of the big guys, means directors, the managing directors, the upper level chief executives, just like you are all chief executives for me. And the decision will come from there because they have the vision, they have the um, uh, what do you call mission, they have the goals, objectives. For example, Ayako, I really like her work. She does bugs me, but I like her bugging because she sends the information. She has her objectives based on her software. Now she needs to see these objectives from because she's the CEO of her company and she has to see that whether these objectives are relevant to make sure that the IT is controlled or not. Okay. Now the good governance is to make sure that one of the things before I go into this detail, uh, do you know how the what company is? Anybody can define a company? Anyone who can define a company? You don't need to Google, just give me your thoughts. Okay. This class is very silent. Okay. Company is a legal person. Okay, a company can be sued in its name. Directors are not sued. So company is a legal person itself. Okay. So when you are a director of a company and when you are, because director is the person who registers the companies, they're liable for that company also to some extent. They have limited liability. In order to avoid that liability, we come across a good governance behavior in which we look into different aspects of the development processes and so on. One of the key processes is technology risks, right? And these technology risks are almost assessed in every company of the world. Every company, 99.1% of the companies of the world. I won't take 0.09% because reason is there could be some companies which doesn't want to run like that. So what happened is that that after the Enron scandal, they came up with the and although at that time it's called corporate governance, right? So let me show you. Wait a minute. I'll explain you here. Hey, wait a minute. I couldn't find the actual ISO 38500 because I had that with me. Mm. So corporate IT governance is based on that, but no. This doesn't work. Perfect. This is the one. Okay. Can you see this? Now, because there was a corporate governance, despite having a corporate governance, the Enron scandal came up in the United States. It actually happened. So they came up with the IT governance, which is at the lower level, which is they want to make sure. Okay, let's ask you a question. You're working in a company, and there's an accountant who is really sharp, and he is actually getting the money out of the accounts. So there's a risk because he's getting money out of the accounts without any accountability, and you are designated to catch that accountant. What are the methods you're going to use to catch that accountant? Come on, let's see your views before I go into this.
So at the very, very high, most basic level, you'd have a log enabled. So everything is recorded.
Very good. Log enabled where?
So
In IT?
based on IT, yeah. So it would be
Yeah,
things like who accessed an account, what time, what date, what account did they access, where did the money go, how long were they accessing it for, those sorts of things that you can straight away pick up patterns that are unusual.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone else?
Obviously authentication, so you know who's accessing what.
Authentication, very good. Anyone else?
You could have a whitelist of accounts that they should and shouldn't access. So if it goes outside of that, the system flags it.
Excellent. Access control, very good. Anyone else? Software developers? Yeah, go ahead.
You could limit it to time. So it can
Yeah,
only be
good.
accessed during certain windows.
Session controls, yeah, that's good.
And also geographical.
Geographical, excellent. Nice work. Anyone from software team? Because you are the software makers, you should know how to control the people. Okay.
You could have like the equivalent of 2 to sign if it's a high amount. So
yeah,
certain amounts require multiple people to authorize it.
Excellent. Very good. I like it, David. Now, all of this, all of the suggestions made are IT suggestions. So you all agree with me that if you want to avoid any corruption, you put everything in IT and you um, monitor that. Okay, that is why in IT governance, which is, if I say that IT governance means ICT management, remember this thing. ICT management is actually IT governance. So you need to do the risk mitigation of all the things that could happen to your system, right? For example, you are a financial company, you will do the risk assessment, and then you will find how to mitigate that risk. So whatever David has told me right now was actually he was mitigating the risk to make sure that that accountant is caught. Okay. So this is what IT governance does. It makes sure that you have, this is one process, right? David told me the process which can be inbuilt in IT, but there's a process which is also written. Why we need a written process is that we want to have a written policies to control that IT governance, is to make sure that the people are accountable. Because when you join any company, the HR or your line manager inserts a line in your contractual obligation that if you do not follow the policies, it will be considered as a misconduct. So you control the IT governance through the policies. Okay. Then you have people, process. David has defined some processes. And technology, what technology you use. David has also described some access control, session management, and so on. Okay. Did you get my point? Everybody's with me?
Yep.
That's good. I don't know which one is dead. Okay, let's go back. Now, you need to ask me questions because I'm one of the experts in this field. So if you don't ask me questions, then, I mean, either you are not learning or either I'm not producing the good results. And I work in both New Zealand and Australia. So I make sure that if government listen to us too, okay? So that is why technology became part of the corporate governance to control that accountant. For example, again, I come back to Ayako all the time because she shares everything and I really like that. So if she is building a software, she wants to make sure that she monitors that software. She has something information in that software that she is able to see or make people accountable, right? Now, in 1999, I was studying my master's and I created a software in which there was a financial transaction. And if you do a wrong transaction, it will automatically reverse that. So also, in a database, you can create a procedure where you can actually see who logged in the database and what he actually did in the database. So you can actually do this audit trails within your database. And have you done any audit trail in the database? The software guys, I'm asking only the software people. Audit trail in the database by programming, by writing procedure.
Don't think so.
See? So you need to have a nice level of your work. So make sure you always have an audit trail, who logged in, what he did, where he went. So it gives all the information to you. So the governance for technology is based on the responsibility. Okay, tell me, who is mostly responsible for data or the information in a company? You're all CEOs, somebody else should be there. Yeah, who is responsible?
Sorry, what was the question? Excuse me. Oh, can you not hear? Oh, you can hear?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Reason. Can you hear from? Oh.
Wouldn't have this problem in person, just saying.
Don't know, mate. You haven't been in the classes.
Oh, so executive officer, you are the bosses of your company. Okay. So this is how you control these. So you have to make sure that whoever doing things in IT, make sure that they understand the roles and responsibility. And each role and responsibility should be segregated with each other because you don't want to give a multiple responsibility to one person and rest all sleep and enjoy their lives. Okay. Second thing is that you must have a strategy, and these strategy plans should ensure that you are using the technology resources at their um, optimum, and you are also considering the risks of using the technology. Um, Recently, just in before starting this class, you guys told me that okay, you are there and you're already there, you're paying the parking fees and everything. So there's a risk, right? So that's why I can see that okay, I can come on campus and teach you there. So there's a risk always. Similarly, if you look into the technology risk, there's a risk of Teams technology. Maybe there's no broadband and I'm not able to run the lecture, right? But these days broadband is pretty good and and it works. But in Amity, the broadband is really bad, so there's a risk also over there. Similarly,
Are
when
you
you
aware
are
that you blocked out for 3 minutes just before?
really
Yeah.
okay, so did you hear me?
No, we're all chatting while you were just MIA.
Okay, let me know if you don't hear me. Okay, because I'm going through. The third thing is acquisition. You want to make sure that you have a process in place how you acquire things. Now, acquisition gives a lot of room for corruption because somebody is buying things for the company. He doesn't care about the company's money. He buys the thing. Okay. Now, I can give you example. There was a company in, they had a $700,000. They try to buy the services, and the person didn't care about the company's budget. He doesn't care. He made a decision, but then it was reverted back because they didn't give enough competition or enough roles to other people, okay, to other companies. So it helps you when you are acquiring things, you should be able to make a decision based on that. Fourth thing is performance, how your technology is performing, how you're using that technology to make sure that it's productive. Okay. And whether this technology is future business resilient, right? Even in your daily life, you're buying anything, you should have a performance activity, or you must have a performance assessment, whether your computer is okay for the next 3 to 4 years. Fifth thing is conformance, which is conformance to the policy, standards, contracts, regulations, law, and everything. This conformance may make sure that every person is accountable, and that accountability is reflected into the HR agreements that employee signs. Um, Human behavior is the sixth point, which is ensures that the people are considered as part of process that utilizes and rely on technology. If you are in IT and you don't want to use the technology, then you are no more using IT at all. You're not going to advance in IT field. And I've seen companies there, they will keep buying products, and with these products, if they are using one product, they will be using two products for the same job, and they're wasting their money. They don't consider human behavior, whether this human is good enough to know that system or not. Okay. So this happens in a normal IT world. The next thing is about technology scope. You must ensure, I've given you information on this in the previous lecture, that how you actually work to scope your environment. When you design something, you should know what the scope of your environment is, and you don't go beyond that scope. And you control that technology scope which you have defined. For example, you park your car and you are able to give the parking fees through your mobile phone. This is one scope. You can manually give uh, uh, the the payment for your parking using the machine. This is the second scope. Now, the second scope or first scope is somehow one of the scope fails, so you still have redundancy. So you have to make sure that people who are scoping, who are working with your organization, must be competent enough to do that. And scoping also revolves around your IT processes, how you control that, how you are going to design it, how you're going to provide security, how you're going to handle operational management, change management in the environment. To make sure that in the end of the year, when you are closing down your year, you should be able to know whether you have a continuous improvement in your system or not. Because your CEO really wants to see whether your IT system is productive or not. If it is not productive, it's not giving him return on investment, then he is most likely to change that IT system. Is it clear? Hello?
Yep, yep.
Okay. I can give you example. There was a one company and they had Sun Systems. Have you heard of Sun Systems?
Yep.
These are Unix-based systems, and they were a cluster of around 60 servers they have. And this is the real example. It happened in New Zealand. So the new team came because they don't know the Sun Systems. They change everything. Now, Sun Systems are known for their reliability and workload. Easy. It's very easy for Sun Systems, Sun Solaris to handle anything because it's a Unix-based system. So they started changing it towards the Windows, and the cost went up. So it is very important that whatever the decision you make, if you have already a productive environment within your company, you should use it. If you think that it is not productive for you because you like Windows more, then you can that it will be have some impact on the management of ICT also. Also, there is a big research on technology resistance. When you are putting technology, for example, you can walk into your home and you will see that you might be using your computers better than your parents, right? So technology resistance is there. If there are some old workers there, they don't like the new technology, they will always pose a resistance for you. So you have to handle it through the governance life cycle. The other thing which is more important is the role of directors. What are the main role of directors? Now, because they devise the mission, vision, and objectives of your organization, they also look into the proper planning. So when you are doing the ICT management assignment, make sure that you do a planning because time management is very important. Um, you should be able to view a portfolio view of the information and communication technology as an investment systems and project oversight. You want to make sure that you don't overbuy things. One of my class I teach is cloud computing, where the students actually work around how to calculate the cost um, of the cloud resources versus the local resources. So they will know how much they are actually saving. So directors are also, they look into the project delivery and oversight and monitoring, reporting, and so on. What directors look is they want to have return on investment and they build up the performance teams. They want to make sure that whatever they are building up or whatever their company is doing, it should give them some return. Okay. On top of that, you have some governance committees, which is like board meetings. You have board committees. Reason for having a board committees is to have an independent insight into your business. Now, these board committees are only available in public listed companies which has shares in the market. The private company does not have the board committees. The public companies have these because they want to make sure that everything is impartially and objectively controlled. They want to see whether your ICT assets, investment systems are on track and you are not spending much on that. They should be able to evaluate the current and future technologies, how these are working. So these are all aspects. Think yourself to be in that position and how you will see when you're creating a software, even you're creating a IT infrastructure or a network, you should see these points together as a normal human being that, okay, is this feasible? Is it good for me? Because when you're going to buy or when you're going to invest money in that, uh, you should be able to handle that. Then there's a threat coming from emerging technology and innovation opportunities. Because IT is totally ever changing, right? So there's always a threat. Right now, there's AI, generative AI threat. There's AI threat. The hackers are using AI to build the attacks. There's AI in the field. There's misinformation right now in the social circles, in the news. Um, One of the classic case of misinformation is the Ardern case. Um, so AI and misinformation is always there because the technology is advancing and people are actually not checking the information is correct or wrong. Okay. So from the perspective when you're building some design, you make sure that the integrity of information within your system is properly done. You should be able to handle that. Okay. Nobody should be able to change it without a permission. And I think so the last thing is, oh, sorry, come on, is data asset. And this is I'm going to talk about. How many of you can calculate the data value of your information. Why data is important for organizations?
Have you got like a high level example, Rizwan, just so we can sort of make sure we're on the same page?
Okay, which company you selected?
I'm with Spark.
So is data important for them?
Yep. So, I mean, there's lots of data points that would be important to them, but market share is one of them, and the assets and things like that. I mean, there's quite a few different ones.
Okay, so data is considered as an asset, right? So it's very important. Data is very important for organization. So which data is important? And
Well, the biggest one we're seeing at the moment, or have been seeing, is being with social media, where people are tracked with cookies and things through browsers, and that's sold to other companies. So personal data is becoming very valuable for companies to acquire.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else?
I think every detail provided is data, whether it's like we have selected trade me, so like number of posts and how many product they want to sell. So everything is data.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, one example I can think of as one with supermarkets is, you know how you have a loyalty card?
Yeah.
So from that, the supermarkets can work out what products to sell you based on what people actually buy. They can also work out where to place items in store based on whether it should be a top shelf, bottom shelf product. And they even go as far as having different prices for the same product in different areas, and also different range of products. So in a more expensive area, they might have 3 or 4 high value items, whereas in a cheaper area, they might just have a no frills predominantly.
Okay, that's
So they're
good.
collecting that data every time you shop, and they're matching it up so that they can actually use that to make business decisions which are profitable for them.
Okay. Yesterday I was browsing through solar panels, and my Facebook will start showing me solar panels. My Instagram will start showing me solar panels. So your data is manipulated by these channels. But data as an asset is that data which contains the intelligence, which can be used to make the profit. For example, the privacy information, that if it is breached, then it costs a lot of money because people can build up your passports from that. Similarly, if you have valuable data that relates to uh, your networks or your products, and it's breached, that goes out and somebody is able to utilize that within its architecture, then it will cause a lot of loss to the other company. For example, you have Fisher and Paykel, they do a lot of research. And if their research of an item is breached and that intelligence goes out to somebody else, then it's going to have an impact on their product because that data has actually a value. And to make sure that that value, to secure that value, that's why it is called data as an asset. So David, you were right, and others was also right. What data has a value, right? Every data, when if you are in networks and software, data analytics, there are people who are doing data analytics because they analyze the data and they give a very good research based on that. For example, there's a company here which has given a data analytics on the cricket teams to New Zealand team that how this player is going to be bowled out, or how this player you have to attack using which type of bowling, that this player is not easy to handle. So every data is become and the future of data is pretty broad, because without data you don't have any value in your systems. Even if you have a blank system and it's running Windows, there's no data in it, somebody hacks it, it does not have any value. So data is these days is very important. There's another concept of data is called data sovereignty. And also there's another subject called data governance, which actually emerges from data sovereignty. Now we came up with a new standard. It's 38506. It's based on data governance, how you handling the data. So when you are working on data, especially in your even in software, in networks, in data analytics, you must be able to understand how this data is collected, how it's flowed through the systems, how this data is identified, who's the owner of the data, how it's managed, how it is protected. And all of these things comes under three security principles, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. You have to make sure that if you classify the data and you say that it's open, it's unrestricted, then there's no problem. But if you classify the data as sensitive, then you have to make sure that you apply these three principles: confidentiality, integrity, and availability on top of that. With this, there are rules on data privacy, which is also pressured through the GDPR, General Data Protection, from European Union. And they want to make sure that wherever the data is, P2 data is kept, it should be secure enough to make sure that uh, it should not be breached easily. So the new law of even New Zealand and Australia, they have the penalties for data breaches. Okay. And they have included things like data assessment, management, and security frameworks to make sure that your data is adequately protected. Any questions so far? Those who wants to read these, I put over here in files. Okay. Don't read this ISO, this one. This is the full standard. I'll give you a brief on this. I taught you today Good Governance Guide, which is coming from there. And next time I'll go in technology strategy. What's the difference? You just read through that and you should be able to understand. I'm done with my lecture. Any questions so far? Please go ahead. So if you go here in assignments, and you look into portfolios, part A assignments, just upload you. These are samples available to you, how they have written that. And if you Is this available to you? This assignment details. It has all the
No,
information.
none of this is available to us. There's one.
Okay. Wait a minute.
It's like a lock.
It's closed. Yeah, it's all locked.
Just wait.
Okay.
See now. Are you able to see? Just refresh it.
The only one that changed was CPM example on mine. Nothing else.
Should be there.
I think all of them need changing individually.
You see at the top where it's got assignment group. I think it's just doing them one by one.
Wait a minute. Let me see.
I clicked on portfolio A, and it is accessible now, even though it says closed. When I clicked on it, I can't.
The close is because you cannot upload the things on due, but you should be able to see the assignment.
Yeah, I can see the criteria, like the Gantt chart, relevant activities.
Yeah, can you share your screen with me?
Yeah. So there.
Yeah, okay. Click part 4 assignments, so you can see this.
So if I go, so we're just looking at portfolio A at the moment, are we?
Wait a minute.
Management of ICT.
Oh yeah, no, they're still locked. Rizwan.
Okay. Okay, I'll check this out because the thing that you're seeing, can you go to the assignment page only?
I can see the samples now.
This is the assignment page. That's correct. You see the sample.
Yep. There's
Only
3 of them.
sample you can see. Click assignment only.
So we can access that. We
Okay.
we
Now,
can't
if you
access that or that.
oh, okay. If you click the portfolio party assignment, just click that. Yeah. Yes, you can see that.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So it's just those 2 we need for now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
I'll
if it's
open
not-
everything for you because I think so. This is. Let me check sample portfolio slides. Okay, slides are okay. I'll make it available to you, but there's a due date which is later.
Yeah, the presentation's locked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'll put it. Don't upload anything. Okay, everyone, please listen to me. If you want a feedback, send me the information before you upload. Okay, I'll give you feedback. I'll open that. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry. So I take the portfolio A, the template.
Yeah.
So there's a like table content.
y-
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Yeah. So, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say, so we can follow those headers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
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 Wait here. Go to
So,
2.
so
Yeah.
let's say,
ICT
yeah.
infrastructure. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
designing your system, right?
Yeah.
You put introduction over here. What hardware is required, what software is required, and you can put any current ICT organization structure you research through your company, which you have selected, and put it over there, whether it supports your intro hardware and software. Okay, simple.
What's current ICT organization structure? Is it for example, for us, EasyBit ICT
Yeah,
infra
easy to with
infrastructure?
ICT. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rizwan, just want to confirm it's sorry. Hello.
Yes, yes, Pooja, I'm here.
Yeah. So Rizwan, this is a group project we'll be doing for the project
This is group
portfolio.
project. Yeah, 100% group project.
Okay.
You are in the group?
So yes.
It's a group project, not individual.
Okay. So any one of us has to upload after we complete it.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Make sure you put your names there because sometimes students don't put the name and they put the name of the group
Yes.
and it's very hard for me to do it.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, understand. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So last thing I want to ask you, are you able to understand today's lecture?
Yes.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask somebody from IT Governance Australia to give you a guest lecture on management of ICT. I'll try my best, okay? I know one New Zealand person, if she is not busy, then most probably we will be able to do it. But I will ask them today. So you will have the actual people who are actually working on the standard, working in the field, can give you more view on that. Okay, now because they are either based in Australia, they won't be able to come to MIT. So they will give you a very nice overview on IT governance within this region through online. Will that be okay? They're very senior people. They're not normal employees. They are very senior people, and they work at the executive level, at C level. Uh, so I'll ask them if they are available so that we can give you a nice overview. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so those who want to come to the class next time, I'll be there on site and I'll also do the teams with it. Okay.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
I want to make both the streams happy. If somebody's not happy, I can't do anything more than that. But um, IT is IT. Okay. Okay. You need to do the modules and go through those modules. It will help you in making your assignment easy. If you have any questions, you can always bug me, like Ayoko do. I really like people bugging me because it's not about that. It's I like it because if you don't respond to me, like today I was lecturing, asking people, I my motivation goes down. So thanks, David, for that. Thanks, Adam. no matter how bad you are or you want to contradict me, I'm happy for that because I'm a very open lecturer. I come from the industry, so I know how the industry works. So just ask me as much as you can, okay?
Yep, sounds
So
good.
see you next time in the class. And those who wants to join online, I'll send the invitation to you guys, okay?
Cheers, Rizwan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers,
Okay.
everyone.
Remember one thing, invitation will come to you all because you are all registered in Teams. But this is my say, don't ask me. Those who wants to come in the class, I'm there for you, okay? Okay, guys,
Thank you
then.
very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Cheers.